200 subscribers. I have been playing this video ever since I had 150 or more to see, and I cover more games of that as my destiny, so let's cut to the chase and talk about why, in my honest view, Pokemon Crystal is a perfect sequel. And some criteria have been laid out by my associate, Shapefellas Productions, and I definitely would say that this game really fits those criteria. So, let's begin. While Gold and Silver as a whole definitely built on what Red, Blue, and Yellow did, Crystal is easily the version that really cemented that. I mean, especially with how, while the Burnt Tower, Bell Tower, and Brass Tower, aka Tin Tower, and the, as it was originally called, were present in the previous installments, the whole way they approach in this one really expands that further. And on top of this, it's especially true with the whole after completing Johto, going back to Kanto for the very first time and seeing how it's changed. And since the events of the original games is a key part of that, which will come up again later and should make a good segue into my next point in this video. One key thing for any video game sequel to do well is to not only feel that it's building on what came before, but also progress the series forward in a way that makes logical sense. And this game and Joust 2 as a whole seems to have progression from that. I mean, with what's left of Team Rocket being scattered, and also Giovanni's his son Silver being a key part of that, as well as how and stuff like the magnet train figuratively and literally connects to back to Kanto as well, and how some elements are completely different, such as how Giovanni has vacated the position of being Viridian gym leader, with Blue being one of the people to hold that spot as well, and also the fact that Koga is now part of the Johto Elite Four, with his daughter Janine taking up his post back in Fuchsia City. It just feels almost like a clear through line between all of this, and even though story threads have varied in ways since then, and I'll come back to this later, they're the best as elements, and since then definitely can easily be traced back to this game as well. While this is also true of Gold and Silver as a whole, the fact that this game required the Game Boy Color to function and get the full enjoyment out of was definitely an indicator of how even in such a short time the gameplay and graphics had already taken such a large step. Like the day and night cycles are one of my favorite aspects, next to be introduced in these installments and have occurred since then, and especially if it ones that factors in the system's internal clock. I mean, they're only ones that can be captured at night. Certain events only occur at night. I always like when there's little details like that, and subsequent titles will also factor in as well. I mean, and even with some people getting salted about level scaling, I love the whole fact that you can physically see your XP bar without having to go into your stats to check it, even though you can if you want to. That's a simple visual indicator of how you're progressing. And I mean, I can't really think of many people that like grinding. I can't think of even few people that like enforced grinding, especially in role-playing games. But it's a simple indicator that you can see of how your monsters get stronger and evolve alongside doing the best version of themselves. I mean, and I'll definitely be continuing to explain this at how even introducing new ones as well. For all the discourse around the battle tower, it's easy to forget that it was a big deal at the time it was first introduced. Heck, I still am known to enjoy them and I'm in subsequent installments just to see how good I can really get. And it also extends to things like how the mystery gift, even though it could not be fully realized until the 3DS version of the game came around, actually was introduced here, and also integration mobile, which even though it was cut from the US releases, it was like a precursor to what they're doing now in Pokemon Go and Pokemon Home. And also, sorry, with the introduction of Crystal herself, the series' first ever female protagonist, which in many cases became one of the most beloved characters in the franchise, actually helped an entire generation of players not only have something to identify with, but also discover something about themselves, also progressed even through Generation 7, which began phasing out the "are you a boy or girl" question in favor of like just having like a picture, and now Generation 9, how flexible configuration system is there as well. I mean, also, and even the in-game radio stations and Pokegear, those elements prove to be really key and also show how they naturally tie into the existing themes from Generation 1, which I'm about to address now. One of the most effective ways this carries on from the previous ones to how it builds on the existing themes. I mentioned earlier in this video how you have to actually go back through. You can actually go back through Kanto after completing all of Johto, which is a feat that took the late story water having to double the memory usage in order to make it happen, and doing their gym challenge in a new and unique way, especially, and this culminates in after being the Leaf 1 champion, and how you actually face Red himself on top of Mount Silver, without a sound, without one word, your monsters are talking, and to show how that progresses as a theme about being the best, one might say, and the whole new world we live in. And as another little confession, as I mentioned before, was that this generation was the first one I ever beat, and I've done it many more times since then. As they were among the first games, as they were the first game series I beat when I was 10, and I can definitely say that in terms of quality, it did indeed have an impact on the series as a whole. Even with the initial transition to Generation 3 and the tail end of the initial Pokemania, it is inherently clear to me that the game, still, many of its elements are still being felt today. I mean, the challenge faced in some of the tougher sections of Generation 9 as well as Pokemon Legend Arceus, which I'll be following up again later this month, and are a clear indicator of how far things have come, and how, like, if Yellow was a title that started my love of the series, then this was arguably the one that cemented it to me, and if I may be completely frank as usual. I mean, even after the break I took after Ruby and Sapphire, and maybe another break I might do after Indian Master finishes, is I never stopped revisiting this title, and that includes in this video, and it is inherently clear here that as the last one released on the Game Boy Color, it definitely he went out with a bang. That is why Pokemon Crystal, in my honest view, is a perfect sequel. I want to thank everyone for helping me get to 200 subscribers, and I look forward to talking with you all again very soon. That'll be all for now. All I gotta do is believe in me. Take care, everyone.